Hi, it's Kate from True Blue Homeschool, and thanks for joining us as we make our annual trip to Wisconsin Dells. For our first night there, we stay at the Baker's Sunset Resort. It has fairly typical hotel rooms, but it has a fun little pool with a dolphin statue, so we call it the Dolphin Hotel. But the kids usually have the pool to themselves, so it's fun, quiet. The main feature of the Baker's Sunset Resort is that they give free access passes to the Kalahari Indoor Amusement Park. Emily went outside, collected snow, and made this cat just for fun. But the kids have fun playing in the pool for the first night we're there. The next day, we head on over to the Glacier Canyon Resort by Wyndham. It's attached to the Wilderness Resort, and we have access to all of the indoor water parks from the Wilderness Resort. The first one is this wild water dome. We call it the wave pool park because it has a massive wave pool. It also has a couple of family tube rides, a small kids splash area, and an adults only hot tub. Another water park we like to visit at the resort is the Wild West Water Park. We call it the bumper boat pool because it's the only water park in the place that has the bumper boats for the kids to ride. You can buy a single token to ride the bumper boats once, or if you buy a fun pass, it gets you one ride on the bumper boats as well as a bunch of other activities, or you can buy an unlimited pass and use the bumper boats as often as you like. The bumper boat pool not only has the bumper boats, but it also has a large climbing structure for the kids to play on and run through, and with slides leaning off of it, and a huge bucket that dumps water from above. Anyone can play on this structure, but you do have to be a kid to go down one of the slides. They do have height restrictions in a lot of the water parks, but mostly you have to be taller than certain heights, like 42 inches, for example, with the exception being one slide on this climbing structure. There are also tube rides, which you have to be tall enough to ride. They also have family rides, raft rides. The rafts you don't have to carry up yourself, but the tubes you do. The weekends can get kind of busy, but if you go off season and during the week, there's hardly ever any wait for any of the rides. The multi-person rides, like these family rides, they do weigh you at the top of the stairs to make sure together as a group you don't exceed the weight limits. The next water park we have access to is the Klondike KAVERN. We call it the duck race pool. A highlight of our stay there is every day they have duck races for the kids. The kids get to pick out a little rubber ducky, and they throw them all in the lazy river, and they give out prizes. Usually for the first 3 winners, they give a minor prize, a little plastic duck whistle, and then they give one grand prize winner, which usually consists of a t-shirt or a fun pass to some of the dry activities at the resort. My kids usually win at least once while we're there, and it's really fun. Also at the duck race pool, they have one of the large play structures that the kids can climb in. They have a big lazy river which goes around most of the indoor water park itself. They have the huge bucket drop and little kid slides. And they also do have some of the bigger slides, or the slides which you have to meet height requirements for. They also have body slides at this one, as well as tube rides and family rides. And they have this board ride where you can press the buttons with your fingers as you go down to try and match up with the lights that are in the tunnels, and you get a score at the end of the ride. Another water park that we go to is the CUBBY'S Cove water park. We call it the lily pad pool because in a couple of places they have lily pads for the kids to climb across. This one we do have to drive to. It's not within walking distance, but it is mostly designed for younger kids. The play structure is for younger kids. They do have a deeper pool that you can play basketball, and they do have lily pads that the kids can climb across. But the biggest benefit of this particular water park is that it's quiet. So it makes a nice reprieve from the loudness of the other water parks. You can just go for an afternoon and get a break from some of the other resort activities with this quiet one. They do have an outside hot tub like some of the other ones do as well. And the cool thing is in the wintertime, you can make your hair freeze in a standing up position, which the kids always think is fun. The last water activity we do is the wave ride. It is not at the resort.
Hi, we're in Wisconsin Dells. We're at the Kalahari Waterpark right now, and we're about to do lessons on the flow rider. Private lessons for a whole hour.
The Kalahari Resort is just down the road from the Wilderness Resort, and you do have to pay separate access to use their water parks or their indoor amusement parks. But we chose to do a lesson on the flow rider or the wave rider, and it was super fun. We did body surfing, regular surfing. It was done after hours, so there was nobody else there, so it was really quiet. We had one-on-one instruction, and it was a highlight of our trip. But after all those water activities, it's time for some dry land activities. We choose to get the unlimited fun pass at the Wilderness Resort, and it gets us unlimited access to the activities like the ropes course. You do have to pay separate for the arcades, which are underneath, but we get the go-kart rides, but you do have to be a certain height to be able to drive them yourself. There's laser tag and laser maze. There's putt-putt golf. And some activities are free, like in the kids' corner, they have a few activities. And there's a huge play structure for the kids to climb in. Next, we head over to the Kalahari Resort with our free passes that we got from the Baker's Sunset Resort on the first night. They have an indoor amusement park which has things like a Ferris wheel, go-karts, ropes course, the zip line. They have putt-putt golf. They have some laser games, a little merry-go-round. You have to pay separate for the arcade games. And a few other activities like bowling do have additional costs. They have rides and activities for all ages. We use the Kalahari as a break from the water parks. Em likes the thrill rides, but after a fun-filled, action-packed week, we are ready to head out of the resort, and it's time to recombobulate. It's time to head to the airport and back home to recover and reminisce. Well, that's it for our adventure to Wisconsin Dells. Thanks for joining us. Click that subscribe button and that notification bell to follow along with us as we homeschool one adventure at a time.